trucks there's two gas tanks. I can switch from one to the other. But basically we put the gasoline in here, and then there's a little electric pump inside there that pumps it toward the engine. It pumps the gas right up to the engine.
That's where it burns and pushes the valves up and down that rotate the crankshaft.
When the gas goes in the engine, it goes into
Gears
the
in the
top part of
transmission.
the engine, and it's mixed with air. The air comes in here, and the gas goes in a little gas rubber line coming up from the, actually in a steel line because it's under high pressure nowadays. It goes in a steel line over there and goes on a rail. A rail looks like this metal tube, except it's smaller and it goes on the other side. It's underneath the manifold there. That's the air manifold.
The oil here is actually lubricating the valves to make the gear spin faster, so your wheels can.
Yeah, there's constant gears turning and pistons going up and down, so they need oil not just to lubricate, but to carry the heat away from the hot spot, and it goes down into the pan and it cools off.
Yeah.
So the oil works as a coolant also, not just a lubricant.
And the radiator also cools the engine.
And then there's a water jacket. The engine has a water jacket where water is being pumped back from the engine to the radiator to cool off. The gas comes from the gas tanks, like I said, and it's mixed with air that comes here, and it's sprayed into the cylinders. Inside the engine there's pistons going up and down, 8 of them. And it sprays the fuel-air mixture right above the pistons. And then when the pistons are going up and down just for momentum, right when the piston comes up, it compresses the air-gas mixture, and then a spark plug ignites it, making the piston go down again. And that happens 8 times a revolution on the engine. 8 different spark plugs, 8 different explosions every other revolution, because on the next time the piston comes up, it blows all that burnt gas up out the exhaust valve that opens up. And then all the burn up exhaust goes out the exhaust pipe and goes out the back. Then the piston comes back down just on momentum and being driven by the other crankshaft and other pistons. It goes back down, sucking in a new air charge, new air fuel charge. Then in the case of an injected engine though, the fuel is sprayed into the cylinders as the piston comes down, making a nice fuel air charge. Then that fuel air charge is compressed when the piston comes back up, then the spark plug fires and power strokes down. That's why it's called a 4-stroke, is it has to go out the exhaust 1 stroke, take in the new air gas mixture 2nd stroke, compress that fuel air mixture, compress it real tight into the combustion chamber. It's a 3rd stroke, and then the 4th stroke is when the spark plug ignites it and goes back down. So that's why they're called 4-stroke engines, is the piston has to go up, down, each time the spark plug fires. And there's 8 pistons doing that, and they all do it in a certain order, and that just keeps the engine turning around and around at a real high RPM, real high speed. That goes to the transmission, and the transmission changes the gears.
Rotates the gears in the transmission.
Right behind the engine is the transmission.
And it rotates the wheels.
And then that transmission changes the speed of the engine. However fast the engine is turning, you'll change it to where it's more powerful to the wheels at a high RPM. And then as you get going faster and faster, it wants to change the ratio to where the engine speed equals the wheel speed. So the engine's turning fast, but then the wheels are turning fast, and so you're going 60 miles an hour. And that goes through the drive line to the rear end to power that. And then, so that's the basics.
Also, the battery.
The battery helps you.
The lights and
runs the lights and starts the engine.
Things on your dashboard. Heater, air conditioner, fans work on using the battery.
Okay, well, it's still early here. I wonder if there's a scope.